What's up, good people? David Taub here from nextlevelguitar.com, and we are in the home of a private collector today, and we're going to be bringing you lots of little vignette, 10-minute vignette modules on guitars and gear and effects and amps, and I hope you like this series, and I want to thank the collector for having us over, and we're having a great time. And what we have today for you is, this is a Mexican-made Stratocaster, what they call the Splatter Stratocaster. Now these Stratocasters were made, this is a 2003 model, and I believe they were just made for a couple of years in the early 2000s, and they made these in several colors. It's like a spin art, kind of almost tie-dye effect that you could see on the body, which is kind of cool. Now this is in the blue and the white, and then behind me I have other examples. Over my back shoulder you'll see, on my shoulder you'll see like a red, yellow, and like a cream colored splatter, and my buddy refers to that as the Rasta Strat, isn't that right? The Rastaman Strat, and that's a pretty cool one. And then in the back we have like a, it's kind of like a silvery white, creamy kind of color. Again, that spin art kind of tie-dye kind of effect. And if I show you the back of the guitar, you see it's also brought over on the back. Now this artwork on the guitar is actually a copyright 2003. And you can see they actually have that written on the headstock here, how they copyrighted that procedure. The artwork on this guitar is a copyright 2003 of FMIC, all rights reserved. So that this type of finish with the clear over it is, and it's right, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but it's right on the pick guard too. So it's like they put the pick guard on it and then they sprayed it, and you can see it kind of fins out here, kind of really cool, and it's a very interesting effect. And these guitars, you could still find them on eBay and Craigslist used, and they're kind of cool. You have your 3 single coil pickups and your 5-way selector switch, 2 tone knobs, volume knob, your input here. This one has a rosewood fingerboard, okay, and like most, you got that skunk stripe in the back, and your standard 6 on a side headstock made in Mexico. Fender throughout the years has done some kind of cool things with finishes. In the early, I believe it was early 80s, they made some bowling ball, what's referred to as bowling ball Stratocasters. Very limited numbers, and those guitars go for thousands of dollars. That's kind of like some of the holy grails, and they only made those in like a red and a black finish, a blue and a black, which has some yellow in it, I believe, and then the actual white and gold, which they only made a very limited number of those. And the other 2, they only made a couple hundred of them. And this is kind of like the poor man's version of that kind of bowling ball kind of effect. It's very kind of different. If you're familiar with our videos at Next Level Guitar, you know that I'm kind of a fan of the Mexican-made Stratocasters because I think they're very good value for the money. Now and they're far superior than the Squier Stratocasters. These are the Mexican ones, a lot made in Ensenada in Mexico, and I believe they're far superior than the Squier Stratocasters. The electronics are better, and the bodies are solid, not plywood bodies like you find on a lot of the later model Squiers. So I like the Mexican Strats. I especially like the Mexican Strats from the mid to late 90s because the pickups they used in those years were very, very hot. Starting around 2000, the pickups they started to use are a lot weaker, and if you get one of a later model Strat, I always suggest replacing the pickups because they are a little bit weak. But I'm going to play through them as I go through, and I want to show you how the sounds of this guitar. And what I'm playing through is a very cool vintage mid-60s Gibson Falcon Amp. I don't know if a lot of you are familiar that Gibson in the mid-60s and throughout has made amplifiers. And this is a tube amp, all tube, and it just has like a volume and tone control and a tremolo, and we'll do a later module on this. It has some reverb that's kind of nice. Here's a reverb I have on. So let me take you through some of these sounds. Right now I'm on the neck pickup. Very chimey, bell-like. And here's the second position. Just so you could hear the differences. If I go to the third position, a little brighter. Fourth position, very bell-like. And then your back position, the most brightest. I especially like the neck position and these two pickups together. And then if you're playing something a little heavier with distortion, sounds nice through the back pickup on most of these Stratocasters. I was just playing like an A minor 7th chord and a D minor 7th chord, just to give you an idea. But let me noodle around a little bit, and you can hear some of the sounds of this guitar, and it sounds pretty good. Pretty good. I think if you upgraded the pickups, it would sound even better, because they are a little weak, but overall. Not bad. And then if I go to the next position, and I'm going to keep rolling through each pickup so you can now we're getting into some of the brighter sound. And now the back pickup. Brightest of all. I'm back on the neck pickup now, just to give you some of those. Just to play some chords. By the way, my friend has dubbed these three guitars, the blue splatter, the red splatter, and the white, as the trilogy. The trilogy, and it took him a while to complete the trilogy because he had two of them for the longest time, and he couldn't find the third. And then he picked up the third and completed the trilogy. So if you want a guitar that's going to get lots of questions and lots of looks from people in the audience and whatnot, you might want to check out these Mexican Splatter Stratocasters made by Fender in the early 2000s. They play nice and they sound pretty good. You might want to upgrade the pickups, but there's something different, and they come in different colors, and they're fun, and they're still relatively inexpensive. So you might want to check them out. Go to our website at nextlevelguitar.com and check out all our videos. And if you like what we're doing here on YouTube, hit the yellow subscribe button. And I will see you in the next module.